So I hope you've had a chance to watch my short film, The Color Game. If you haven't watched that, you might want to go give it a watch because I'm going to just kind of give a director's commentary on it and just talk about it and talk about some of the fun memories I have. And so we're just going to dive into it. So this is a short film I made as a junior in college, and we put that, you'll see why we added that little warning in there. This kind of like light tunnel effect, I think I got from Tron Legacy. I had watched the BTS of that movie and saw how they were like simulating him going up the elevator. And I thought that'd be a good way of like how to transition this character into this kind of like weird sci-fi game show thing. A lot of the credit for this film has to go to my friend Paul Rice, who is very gracious enough to follow this channel. Paul Rice is one of the like best editors I know. The dude is super talented, a wizard on the computer. And so he actually came up with the idea of this story, and then I did a rewrite of it to give it a little bit more of a narrative flow and ending that kind of was a little bit more satisfying. But Paul's fingerprint is all over this. Like he was the originator of the story idea. He did the editing, he did the soundtrack, he did all the graphics. Paul really put in the work for this film, and very thankful for all his hard work. So Paul made all those, the dashboards. We had made these podiums, my dad and I, mostly my dad, made these podiums. But it's pretty cool that my dad was able to help out and kind of be a props master on this. So very thankful for my parents' contribution. I personally haven't made a other sci-fi film like this before. This was kind of outside of my normal ideas. But it's kind of cool. I appreciate all genres. I'd love to make a film of every genre. And this feels a little bit of like Twilight Zone sci-fi. It's kind of fun. A really fun idea that Paul came up with. This location is kind of interesting. So we scouted a location of one of my buddies' dad's office in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we went in there and they had these kind of like pods for like conference calls and stuff. You could have like just an individual pod. And so I was like, we could film there, but then there's this like big vault door in the office. I was like, we could film there too. And I didn't know where we were going to set up the shot before getting to the location with all our gear and like, for the film school kind of set up like you're all crewed out. Everyone has a position. It's a big crew. And so while everyone's loading in gear, I'm walking around the space trying to figure out where we're actually going to shoot the film. It's like basically a one location spot. And as I was walking around, I just kind of noticed these unique windows in the wall. And there's just like these perfect squares. And I was like, that's interesting. That's got some kind of potential to it. And so I just made the call like right then and there, like, oh, this is where we're gonna like set up right here. This is it. And the two other ideas I had like going into the film, I just like abandoned right there on the spot. And I don't know if everyone knew that or not, but I just played it off like that was the plan all along. And I remember a dude, he was like, thanks for like having a clear decision on this, because it really like compared to some of the other shoots we've done as a school, haven't had a lot of that. So a little bit of faking it till you make it. So Dominic Strange, who plays the lead here, he auditioned for a lot of student films, but ended up only being in ours. I think some of the other classmates just didn't appreciate his his ability. But I think he did really well here, and I think he delivered on what this film needed. Edwards here, that's his last name. He was in a lot of student films at the time. So He really delivers on like the douchiness of this character. Does a great job performing that way. Serafina is an actress in Michigan who continues to do various work, I'm pretty sure. I see her post a lot. I haven't really stayed connected to a lot of these actors since. Paul did a really good job here at this kind of like rage moment, the synth kind of going like in this weird, creepy direction. Did a great effect with like the pixelation. And this part here is really the kind of reveal of what the color game actually is. And so again, Paul does a great job pulling out from the dead pixel on the monitor, and then cutting to real life. And the music cutting out was a perfect touch. Like Paul, I worked so much during the post-production of this, and Paul Rice really just carried the edit. And I was just like, hey man, I trust you. You just show me what you got. And, when I'm off work, I'll give you some feedback, but I think for the most part, I trust you and, you can carry the project. And so he really I think Paul deserved a lot. I basically should consider him as like a co-director on this, even though he didn't interact with the actors a whole lot. We're super on the nose with the "This Is Reality" just taped to the wall. That's just film school for you, I guess. And so, yeah, I was just wanting to communicate that, like, again, it's kind of like Rat Race type of, we play these games, we do these, like, playing it safe in society of playing by the rules, doing what you're supposed to do, following the status quo, and not realizing what is outside our front door and like the life that's out there and life to live into and to explore and to enjoy. And so that's kind of like the meaning I wanted to put into the film. Everyone in the credits here is just other students that I went to school with. A lot of fun people, great people. You can see Reed Petro in there, who is a frequent collaborator of mine and who is the DP of Sons of Thunder. I think maybe Kiowa Merrill might be in the mix in there. There's Paul Rice doing it up there. Compass College of Cinematic Arts in the credits. That school is no longer alive. That school has been deleted because the president was embezzling funds, basically. So that's cool. So as far as like film school projects go, I think it was a good first project. I think there's obviously some better like choices I could have made in terms of like just the very blatant art direction in there of like, this is reality, taped, not framed or anything, just taped there. But it was a cool experience. One location shoot, so it was like super easy in terms of logistics, didn't have to do any company moves. I think everyone really appreciated that. And it was just a small cast as well, pretty simple story. Hopefully it has like a little bit of a twist that makes it interesting for people. And I thought it was interesting enough to do it. It's Paul's idea, and I was like, oh, it's kind of fun to like think of this weird, like program Tron-like, kind of like game happening behind the screen. What would be on your monitor or your phone these days? So yeah, super fun project. My first film out of film school. A good experience as a director, making choices, making tough calls, interacting with the actors, and making sure that they all got what they needed. The announcer was played by Molly Allman. She was a trooper. She came in and like, she came to my like raggedy apartment that I was living in with like 2 other people, which one of them being Paul Rice, my roommates. And we filmed this green screen, footage, and she just had to like be like crunched in this little corner with a green screen, and it was rough. So, super appreciative to Molly for that. She did a good job. So yeah, that is the Color Game. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it, if you are yet to make a short film, I hope it just inspires you to go make something. The advice I would give is like, don't think too hard about it. I thought really hard about the script for this, to the point where it's like we're shooting, in 2 days, you need to finalize the script. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna run with the idea that I've had. And it turned out to be this. So yeah, just don't think too hard about it. Just go shoot something. And when you shoot that something, leave a link in the comment. I want to see it. I want to encourage you in this art form. So I'll see you in the next video.